Hello friends, welcome to our channel I Teach. Today I am going to discuss some important moments and personalities. As you all know that in our previous lectures we have discussed about these things shortly, and today we will discuss some important ones. So let's start. This is Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Brahmo Samaj. You all know the reform movement in India. He started the movement to purify the doctrine of Hindu religion, but didn't criticize Hinduism. Raja Ram Mohan Roy propagated the idea of monotheism and Hinduism in Hindu religion. So what he did? He propagated the idea of monotheism and Hinduism. Raja Ram Mohan Roy published a work called A Gift of Monotheist in 1809 to propagate his idea of monotheism. So his idea was in gift to monotheist. This work was written in Persian. Original name was Tuhfatul Muwahideen. Raja Ram Mohan Roy established a group of followers under the banner of Atmiya Sabha in 1814. He discussed the religious doctrine Atmiya Sabha in 1814 to discuss the religious doctrine. Also, apart from Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Raja Ram Mohan Roy also criticized some aspects of Christianity. He appreciated the New Testament and content of testaments were praised, and he praised in his book Percepts of Jesus, which was published in 1820. Pioneer of political agitation in India. He formed several smaller organizations to demand political and civil rights. So this is important point. You need to remember that he also formed several smaller organizations for political and civil rights, and also took help from foreign authorities. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also a pioneer of journalism, like Miratul Akbar and Banga Datta. These all were his publications. Raja Ram Mohan Roy published his work in different languages as well, like including Persian, Sanskrit and Urdu. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also a pioneer of modern education. So you can say that he was the pioneer of political agitation, journalism and modern education in India. He also established Vedanta College in 1825. These smaller things you need to remember that it may come in the examination. So what was the purpose of establishing this college? Is to impart modern and scientific education. He also gave active support to David Hare to establish Hindu College at Calcutta in 1817. So Hindu College was established in 1817 at Calcutta. Apart from this, Raja Ram Mohan Roy established Brahma Sabha in 1828. So in 1814 Atmiya Sabha, then in 1828 Brahma Sabha, and it was renamed and converted into Brahma Samaj in 1829. So Brahma Sabha became Brahma Samaj in 1829, just to purify Hindu doctrine from superstition. Okay. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also a pioneer of social reform movements in India. He convinced the British authority to declare the custom of sati. Sati, as you all know, it also involved Minto Hastings, then Raja Ram Mohan Roy with Bentinck. Sati was actually declared illegal by enactment of Regulation 17 of 1829. We have discussed it earlier in our previous lectures. So as I said that Brahma Sabha in August 1828 was established, and in 1829 it was converted into Brahma Samaj. So what was the Samaj committed to? The worship and adoration of the eternal, unsearchable, immutable being who is the author and preserver of the universe. So basically Raja Ram Mohan Roy did not want to establish a new religion. He only wanted to purify Hinduism of the evil practices which had crept into it. Okay, so Roy's progressive ideas met with strong opposition from orthodox elements like Raja Radhakant Deb, who organized the Dharma Sabha to counter Brahma Samaj. So after the death of Raja Ram Mohan Roy in 1833, Maharshi Debendranath Tagore, father of Rabindranath Tagore and a product of the best in traditional Indian learning and Western thoughts, gave a new life to Brahmo Samaj. Because after Raja Ram Mohan Roy's his death, there was a setback for the Samaj's mission. So he finally hold the command. Gradually, the Brahmo Samaj came to include prominent followers of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the Derosians, and independent thinkers such as Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and Ashwini Kumar Datta. These two names you need to remember. Tagore worked on two fronts. Within Hinduism, the Brahmo Samaj was a reformist movement, and outside it, it resolutely opposed the Christian missionaries for their criticism of Hinduism and their attempt at conversion. The revitalized Samaj supported widow remarriage, women's education, abolition of polygamy, improvement in rayat and conditions and temperance. Got it? So what we have seen till now, that after Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Debendranath Tagore came to give it a new energy, and then Derosians, and then Brahma Samaj experienced another phase of energy, vigorous and eloquence when Keshav Chandra Sen was made the Acharya by Debendranath Tagore. Soon after, the former joined the Samaj in 1858. Keshav was instrumental in popularizing the movement, and branches of Samaj were opened outside Bengal in the United Provinces, Punjab, Bombay, Madras, and other towns. But unfortunately, Debendranath didn't like some of Sen's idea. So ideas like cosmopolitanization of Samaj, meeting by inclusion of teaching from all religions, and his strong views against the caste system, even open support to intercaste marriages. Keshav Chandra Sen was dismissed from the office of Acharya in 1865. So Keshav and his followers founded the Brahma Samaj of India in 1866. So this was another branch of Brahma Samaj, means it's bifurcated from. So Keshav Chandra Sen was dismissed from the office of Acharya in 1865. So in 1866 he founded Brahma Samaj of India, and the another branch of it became the Adi Brahma Samaj under the Debendranath Tagore. So lately Keshav founded another, renamed actually its Samaj as Keshav's Brahma Samaj, because some of his disgusted followers made another branch, Sadharan Brahma Samaj. And why these followers are disgusted? There were some reasons. Firstly, that Keshav married his 13-year-old daughter with Kuch Bihar's Raja. So the first reason was he married his minor daughter with the Raja. Another reason was some of his followers considered him as an incarnation. And another reason was that he became authoritarian according to some of his followers. So these were few reasons of his followers to be disgusted followers. If we talk about the overall contribution of Brahma Samaj, we may be summed up like it denounced the polytheism and idol worship. It discarded this faith in divine avatars. Incarnations. It denied that any scripture could enjoy the status of ultimate authority transcending human reason and conscience. It took no definite stand on doctrine of karma and transmigration of soul. So it took no definite stand on doctrine of karma and transmigration of soul, and left it to individual Brahmos to believe either way. And the last one is it criticized the caste system. So it's very important. You need to remember all these. Okay. So next is Arya Samaj, Dayanand, Saraswati and Arya Samaj. So Arya Samaj was established by Mool Shankar, popularly known as Dayanand Saraswati. Dayanand Saraswati also gave the term Swaraj. Okay, you need to remember this as well. So this organization was established in 1875 at Bombay. In 1877, the headquarters of this organization was shifted to Lahore from Bombay. Dayanand Saraswati gave the famous statement, which is "Go back to Vedas," by which he wanted that the followers of Hindu faith should follow the original teachings as mentioned in the Vedas. And one more thing, he also gave this term India for Indians, means two terms, famous statements he gave: go back to Vedas and India for Indians. He was not in favor of practicing the Vedic rituals prescribed by the Brahmins of Vedic times. This is very important, means he was not in favor of practicing Vedics and Vedic ritual by Brahmins of Vedic times. Dayanand Saraswati appealed to the people to come back to the Hindu faith through the Shuddhi movement. So he also started Shuddhi movement. So if we talk about the contribution of Arya Samaj, the members of Arya Samaj contributed to the spread of education in India. The progressive member of Arya Samaj established chain of schools through India, which are known as Dayanand Anglo-Vedic School, DAV schools. The conservative section of Arya Samaj established Gurukul Pathshala at Haridwar to give traditional education through the medium of Sanskrit language. So one was for modern education and another was for traditional education. So next is Ramakrishna Mission. So Ramakrishna Mission was established by Swami Vivekanand, whose real name was Narendranath Dutt. So in 1897 he established Ramakrishna Mission at the place called Belur. Swami Vivekanand was a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans, who believed that there are different paths to reach God, and all these paths have one common feature, that is service to mankind. So what he believed? Service to mankind. So Swami Paramhans believed that service to mankind was service to God, and anyone aspiring to reach God must serve the mankind. Swami Vivekanand participated in World Conference as Religion in Chicago in 1893, and his effective speech of 3 minutes earned him the title of modern monk of Hindu faith. The service of all beings means he believed that the service of Jiva, means living objects, is the worship of Shiva. Jiva is worship of Shiva. So now we'll discuss Wahhabi movement, means Abdul Wahab, Shah Waliullah and Wahhabi movement, and from this onwards we will discuss some religious reform movement among Muslims. So if you talk about this one, Wahhabi movement, this movement was started in Saudi Arabia by Abdul Wahab. This movement became popular in India during the first half of 18th century by Shah Waliullah. So Shah Waliullah inspired this essentially revivalist response to Western influences and the degeneration which had set in among Indian Muslims. He was the first Indian Muslim leader of 18th century to organize Muslims around the twofold ideals of this movement. First was desirability of harmony among the 4 schools of Muslim jurisprudence which had divided the Indian Muslims, and second was recognition of the role of individual conscience in religion where conflicting interpretation were derived from the Quran and the Hadith. The teachings of Waliullah were further popularized by Shah Abdul Aziz and Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. This movement was against the British authority and it gave a serious challenge to the British establishment at different places. However, this movement was suppressed with brutal force by British authorities. So this is all about this movement. So now we will discuss Aligarh movement. So the official view on the revolt of 1857 held the Muslim to be the main conspirators. So this view was further strengthened by activities of Wahhabi movement, right? But later what happened? An opinion got currency among the rulers that the Muslims could be used as allies against a rising tide of nationalist political activities represented among others by the foundation of Indian National Congress. So if we talk about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was born in 1817 in respectable Muslim family and was a loyalist member of the judicial service of the government. So after retirement in 1876, he became a member of Imperial Legislative Council in 1878. Got that? So his loyalty earned him a knighthood in 1888. So he wanted to reconcile Western scientific education with the teachings of Quran, which were to be interpreted in the light of contemporary rationalism and science, even though he also held the Quran to be the ultimate authority. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan started a movement and wanted to reconcile teaching of Islam, as we have already discussed. So he propagated his ideas through his journal Tehzeeb-ul-Akhlaq. What was the name of the journal? Tehzeebul Akhlaq. Apart from this, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan took several steps to promote modern education among the Muslims. He established Muhammadan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh in 1875. This college was converted into Aligarh Muslim University in 1920. So Aligarh Muslim University was earlier what? Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. So it aimed at spreading modern education among Indian Muslims to Islam without weakening the allegiance to Islam, and second, social reform among Muslim relating to parda, polygamy, widow, remarriage. So these were all the social reforms. And another was women's education, slavery, divorce, etc. So the ideology of the follower of the movement was based on the liberal interpretation of the Quran, and they sought to harmonize Islam with modern liberal culture. And soon Aligarh became the center of religious and cultural revival of the Muslim community. So next movement is Deoband movement. So this movement was started by two religious reformers, Muhammad Qasim Nanotvi and Rashid Ahmad Gangohi in 1866 in the modern district of Saharanpur, UP. This school promoted traditional learning but supported the national movement. So now we will discuss the Sikh reform movements. So the first religious reform movement among Sikh religion was led by Singh Sabha, formed in 1873 at Amritsar. The Singh Sabha movement had twofold objectives. First one is to make available modern Western education to the Sikhs, and the second one is to counter the proselytizing activities of Christian missionaries as well as Hindu revivalists. For the first objective, a network of Khalsa school was established by the Sabha throughout the Punjab. The Akali movement was an offshoot of the Singh Sabha movement. Okay, so it aimed at liberating the Sikh Gurudwaras from control of corrupt Udasi Mahants, who were the loyalist and reactionary alot, enjoying government patronages. Under the pressure of these leaders, the British authorities were forced to enact a legislation known as Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee Act 1922. However, this act was changed later and given a formal shape in 1925, and since then the management of Gurudwaras throughout India is looked after by this committee. So now we will read and the Parsi reform movement. So the Rehnumai Mazdaisan Sabha Religious Reform Association, also known as Religious Reform Association, was founded in 1851 by a group of English educated Parsi for the regeneration of the social condition of the Parsis and also restoration of the Zoroastrian religion to its pristine purity. This movement had Dada Bhai Nauroji, Nauroji Fardunji, K.R. Kama and S.S. Bengali as its leader. So they were the leaders of this movement. Nauroji, Dada Bhai Nauroji, Nauroji Fardunji, K.R. Kama and S.S. Bengali. The message of reform was spread by the newspaper Rost Goftar. Rost Goftar means truth teller. Parsi religion, rituals and practices were reformed and the Parsi creed redefined. In the social sphere, attempts were made to uplift the status of Parsi women through removal of the Parda system. So Parda system was also there in the Parsis, and another was raising the age of marriage and education gradually. The Parsis emerged as the most westernized section of the Indian society later. So we will now read about Young Bengal movement and Henry Vivian Desrosiers. So this one is also very important. So during the late 1820s and early 1830s, there emerged a radical intellectual trend among the youth in Bengal, which came to be known as Young Bengal movement. So this was the movement of radical intellectual youths in Bengal. So a young Anglo-Indian, Henry Vivian Desrosiers, who taught at the Hindu College from 1826 to 1831, was the leader and the inspirer of this progressive trend. Drawing inspiration from the Great French Revolution, Desrosiers inspired his pupil to think freely and rationally, question all authority, love liberty, equality and freedom. These qualities. Drawing inspiration from the Great French Revolution, Derozio inspired his pupil to think freely and rationally, question all authority, love liberty, equality, and freedom, and also oppose decadent customs and traditions. So the Derosians also supported women's right and education. Also, Derosio was perhaps the first nationalist poet of modern India. So this may be a question. So the Derosians failed to have, however, a long-term impact because Derosians were removed from Hindu College in 1831 because of their radicalism, and the main reason for their limited success was the prevailing social conditions at that time, which were not ripe for the adoption of radical ideas because their ideas were so radical. Later, Surendranath Banerjee was to describe the Derosians as the pioneer of the modern civilization of Bengal. So, the conscript fathers of our race whose virtues will excite veneration and whose failing will be treated with the gentlest consideration. So we have already discussed about these last. I mean, M.G. Ranade, Jyotiba Phule. M.G. Ranade founded Indian Social Conference. First session was held in Madras 1887, and we have learnt about Jyotiba Phule as well, Satyashodhak Samaj, and Periyar and Narayan Guru, Satyashodhak movement and Mahar movement. We have also studied about this in our previous lectures. So now to sum up, we will discuss positive and negative contributions of these reforms. So if we talk about positive contributions, these are liberation of individual from conformity out of fear psychosis, worship made a more personal affair, cultural roots to the middle classes, mitigating the sense of humiliation, much needed self-respect gained actually. And what it actually did, this social reform movement, this also fostered secular outlook, encouraged social climate for modernization, also ended India's cultural intellectual isolation from rest of the world, and evolution of national consciousness. So these were some positive contributions of these reforms. So if we talk about negative contributions, so negative contributions are narrow social base. These social reforms, what they did, they made the social base narrow, indirectly encouraged mysticism, overemphasis on religious philosophical aspect of culture while under-emphasizing secular and moral aspects. Hindus confined their praises to ancient Indian history and Muslims to medieval history, created a notion of two separate peoples, and increased communal consciousness. Historical process of evolution of composite culture arrested to some extent. So these were some negative and positive contributions of this social reforms. So in the next lecture we will come with some next and interesting topics. Thank you.